Hey everybody, it's the 4K Lowdown, and this is my A to Z movie collection challenge. My buddy Huck over at Huck's Pop Culture Cafe issued a challenge. He said the rules are simple: pick one movie for each letter of the alphabet and one numeric choice. Okay. Then he throws a curveball and says you get 5 cheats. So if one of the movies that you pick is a part of a box set, you can use the entire box set. So that kind of changed the game a little bit, made it really interesting. What box sets would I pick versus single titles? And also made it really strategic to try to pick the titles that you want and try to get some box sets in there too so you have more movies. Um, so shortly after watching Huck's, I watched Ken's over at Mid Level Media. He's got his list, really good list. So if you guys get a chance, go and check those out. I'm going to put links to both of theirs on here. And if you guys do this challenge after watching mine, please tag me in it. I'd love to take a look at it, throw a like on it. I'd love to get an idea of what your guys' lists are because this was a really interesting challenge. So let's get this started. I'm going to start with the number. And my first instinct for the number was to go with like 1408 was like the first one that came to mind. And I thought, wow, that's a good choice, good movie, nice and creepy. That's something I watch a lot. But then I just kind of scanned around, looked at my list, and I went, oh man, ran into a movie that I couldn't possibly pass up. This is a movie that's in my top 10 of all time. I watch it. I just watched it recently. This is one, unfortunately, only has a DVD release. There's no Blu-ray or 4K of this. There might be something um, overseas or something, but I have yet to find it. So, without further ado, whatever that means, my first offering as my numeric title is The 13th Warrior. Um, and just so you guys understand, I will not use a, an, or the as the first word. So I wanted to cheat and use my T as a the title so that I could use two of a letter, but I didn't do it. Um, I was looking for some loopholes though, Huck. I was trying. Anyway, 13th Warrior. Antonio Banderas um, plays an Arab ambassador who travels to the Northland to meet the Vikings. This is based on the book called The Eaters of the Dead, and it's my favorite Viking movie. I've got a few on my list that I really like, but this is my favorite. It's funny. It's got great action, huge fight scenes, some creepy, scary stuff, and it's just right up my alley. So my first offering, 13th Warrior. I think that was a good start, right? All right, let's move on to A. So with my A's, and I'm starting early, this is my first cheat because I went, oh my God, what would I pick for A? And like I said, strategically, I had to go, there's a bunch of choices that I could do. Um, so looking at the movies, checking what I'd really want, I went with a 4-pack of movies. So my choice for my A letter is it's Aliens, but I went with the Alien quadrilogy. So this is Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection, all in one case. I think that was nice. 4 movies. I think this was a good strategic play on my part, and I get some really good sci-fi horror action love. So my choice for the letter A, is Aliens, but with that I get the Alien quadrilogy. Okay, moving on to B. B was not as easy as I thought, because I had a few ideas in my head. Um, I could have gone with a horror movie. I could have gone with some sci-fi. Um, I ended up going fantasy. So my choice for the letter B is Big Trouble in Little China. Kurt Russell, Kim Cattrall, um, James Hong. What a great movie! And I love this. I love the Scream Factory release. Everything's all green on the inside and just beautiful artwork. So, Big Trouble in Little China is my choice for the letter B. The letter C was murder, because at first I was going to go with Captain America: The Winter Soldier, because that's my favorite MCU movie. And then I went, I can't do that, because also starting with C is my second favorite movie of all time, and I have to have it. I have to have it in my list. So, Captain America, I'm sorry I abandoned you, but have no fear, for the Count of Monte Cristo is here. This is from 2002. Jim Caviezel and Guy Pearce. This is my second favorite movie of all time. I watch this, 10, 12 times a year. And I'm really hoping for a 4K release at some point. But for now, I will settle for the Blu-ray. Count of Monte Cristo is my choice for the letter C. I feel like I'm doing a Sesame Street episode. The letter D becomes my second cheat, and I chose the Dark Knight trilogy. This way I get Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises, all in 4K, and yummy, yummy, yummy for my tummy. So yeah, 3 good movies, 3 good comic book movies. Dark Knight is my favorite of the DC Comics movies, by a long shot. So I had to have it. And originally, I just went with The Dark Knight because I can pull the single out of this. But once I realized I didn't have 5 cheats yet, I said, I'm going to use a cheat for this. And I went with the trilogy. So my letter D is the Dark Knight trilogy. E was easy. I didn't even waste any time. If I go and look back, I might think about doing something else, but E has to be my favorite horror movie of all time, and that is The Exorcist. I don't see any reason why I can't do this. I watch this every year for Halloween, and I love this movie, and I love this steelbook. So, The Exorcist is my offering for the letter E. Now we go to F. F, again, not a hard choice. This is my second favorite comedy of all time, and definitely one of my top movies, period. So my letter F offering, my letter F. Anyway, my movie pick for the letter F, that sounds better, is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's it's the best. Matthew Broderick's best movie. The fourth wall breaks are amazing. It's funny as heck. Great story. Who, well, I was like, who doesn't love Ferris Bueller's Day Off? But I'm pretty sure there's somebody that does. But I love it. It is my pick for the letter F. My pick for the letter G. G was tough because G, um, I could have gone Galaxy Quest, which is a great comedy. It's one of my favorites. I almost did Green Mile. That was a choice. I almost did Gladiator, but came to the realization that I really didn't have any MCU movies. So I went with one of my favorite MCU movies here, and my choice for the letter G is Guardians of the Galaxy. It's mainly for the soundtrack, the colors, the 4K on this is really nice, but the colors, the sound, uh, I love the cast. It's funny. It's got great action. So yeah, if I was gonna be, this was gonna be my only choice for picking an MCU movie. I think I did a good job. I'm pretty happy with that. Guardians of the Galaxy is my pick for the letter G. Here we go, H. So with the letter H, I couldn't resist doing another cheat. So I did another cheat. And my cheat is because I'm a huge fan of the series. I wouldn't pick just one movie out of the franchise and keep that, but I would have the whole set and not even worry about it. So my choice for the letter H is all 8 Harry Potter movies. I got the train set box set, which came with all of the 4Ks in one case and all of the Blu-rays in one case. So went with 4K. And the Harry Potter franchise, all 8 films, this becomes my pick for the letter H. Now, my pick at letter I was a difficult one because I wanted to do Indiana Jones, but I didn't. I wanted to do Italian Job, but I didn't. And those are like some of my favorite movies. So I had to go with my favorite movie of all time. Why pick my favorite action movie or my favorite adventure movie? They're both action movies. So my favorite adventure movie or my favorite heist movie. Why would I pick those when I would pick my favorite movie ever? It has to be there. It has to be on my list. So my pick for the letter I is Independence Day. It just is. This is a day when we cried out in one voice, "We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight." Okay, so we're on to J. I literally had Jurassic Park in this pile because it's Jurassic Park. But then I started thinking of something else. And what was I thinking of was I wanted something like pure action just amazing sequences, great pace. And I'm like, I've watched Jurassic Park a lot. And this other movie is something that just came out. I mean, it's less than 10 years old, and I would watch this over and over, and I have watched this over and over. So, oddly enough, probably not a big surprise, but my pick for the letter J is John Wick. Let's go really close. John Wick, right there. Um, I went with the first one. I could have easily gone with the other two. Unfortunately, I don't have the set, or this would have been an amazing cheat. Um, so I went with the first one because the first one you get the surprise and you get the whole initial plot of the whole thing. So I would have done that, or I might have picked three because I'm a huge Mark Dacascos fan and I almost went there. But John Wick is my pick for the letter J. Okay, we're on to K. K wasn't that hard. I mean, I could have done Karate Kid. I could have done, you know, Killer Elite, or just making up stuff now. Um, but I went with Quentin Tarantino. This is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie, and it's got amazing action, and it's my favorite steelbook ever that I have. So my choice for the letter K is Kill Bill Volume 1. I know, right? It's so good. Um, I'm so happy. Can I get right there? Kill Bill. Hey, I did it. Um, yeah, Kill Bill, letter K, done. So good. L was a pain in the butt because I couldn't really come up with anything that I was like I couldn't live without. Was kind of where I was going. So I was gonna go with the Losers, which I really like, but I was like, okay. And there was one other movie that I was thinking of, and this is the one that I went with. I could switch back and forth between Losers and this one all day for my choice for L. But for the purposes of this video, my choice for L is The Long Kiss Goodnight. Gina Davis, Samuel L. Jackson, great action, good story. My favorite movie of Gina Davis. So I'm totally down for that. Now we're on M. 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 I had my pick right away, but then I was like, oh, there's that movie, and oh, there's that movie. But I didn't change my mind. I stuck with this one all the way through, and I'm glad I did. My choice for the letter M is The Martian. I I think it's just a beautiful movie. I think it's, um, in my opinion, the most perfect movie I've seen in a while. I would say in the last 15 years. Really good movie. So, letter M, The Martian. Okay, at N, again, I was like, yeah, nothing I could really live without, but there was one movie that really kind of stuck out for me as something that's really fun with a good twist. It's a little bit different than some of the other stuff that I've picked. So for my pick for the letter N was Now You See Me. I dig this movie. It's fun. I enjoy it. It's got a great cast, awesome twist. So, yeah. Now you see me. Great. And for the letter O, not a whole lot of offerings for the letter O. It's not, it wasn't horrible, but I was like, all right. Um, so I dug a little deep. I went to I went to a really deep cut with O, and I started out with Only the Strong with Mark Dacascos because I will watch that movie every day and twice on Sunday. It's so fun to watch. It's bad. It's not a good movie at all, but guilty pleasure of mine, loved it. And then I realized, hey, I've only got four. I've only got four cheats, so I can have one more cheat. So that one more cheat became my new pick for O. I put Only the Strong back on the shelf, and I grabbed the Ong Bak trilogy with Tony Jaa. And if you haven't seen these movies, um, definitely check out Ong Bak 2. That's my pick out of this group. But all three of them are really good. Great action, superb fighting, awesome stunts. These are fun watch, and I get three in one case, so I'm very happy about that. So the Ong Bak trilogy becomes my pick for the letter O. For the letter P, I really did a deep cut. I could have done a few movies, but I kind of got on a martial arts kick, so I grabbed another martial arts movie for the letter P. And my pick for that letter might not be what you think. I went with The Perfect Weapon. This is Jeff Speakman in his breakout role. Um, it's super fun movie, great martial arts action. It's my favorite American martial arts movie, um, with the possible exception of Big Trouble in Little China, but it's like right there. But anyway, awesome movie, Perfect Weapon, my letter P pick. P pick. All right, we're on Q. I literally had maybe like 10 movies that started with Q. And I'm looking at them going, I don't really care about any of these movies. So I kind of went with an obvious choice, and um, my pick for the letter Q turned out to be A Quiet Place. Went for the first one. I think it's an amazing, great story. I love how it plays out. I love the ending. Um, so yeah, I'm not sad about having this in my stack. I wish I had something else. I don't know what that would be, but there was nothing that really stood out to me with Q there, where I was going to go, oh, I've got to have that in my collect. No, nothing really stood out. So, Quiet Place wins by default as my Q pick. So now we're at R, and with R, I originally grabbed Ready Player One. I just pulled it off the shelf, put it in my stack, and I was like, that's it. But then I went, oh wait, I have to pick my favorite comedy of all time. So Ready Player One went back on the shelf, and my pick for the letter R is Real Genius. And folks, when I get the 4K of this next week, I will be using the 4K as my example. But for right now, all I have is the DVD. So Real Genius, letter R, my favorite comedy of all time. It's got to be in there. The letter S is a particularly gnarly one because every movie and its dog starts with the letter S. Um, and I'm sitting there going, okay, Shawshank Redemption was my first thought, and I was like, well, no, I can't do that. Maybe I should do another movie. So I had another movie in mind. I was like, no, I can't do that. Finally settled on a movie that might not have been picked. I don't know if anybody else would pick this movie, but it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and something that I would absolutely watch every day, and that is Serenity. If you've watched my channel before, you know that I have picked this for my top sci-fi movies. Um, on a couple of occasions, I've scored this and picked this as one of my favorites. So Serenity is my pick for the letter S, and we're now on the letter T. I could have easily gone with Total Recall. I could have easily gone with Terminator or Terminator 2, but something caught my eye as I was looking through my shelves, and I went, you know what? I have to have a disaster movie. Independence Day, okay. Some view that as a disaster movie. I view that as an alien invasion movie, but it can be a disaster movie. But I didn't have a pure disaster movie in my collection. So my pick for the letter T, you guys should probably know this, and that is Twister. Dude, every time it storms on my desert island, I will play this movie if I'm on a desert island with this stack of movies. Um, but yeah, Twister is my letter T pick. I'm very happy about that. Now we go to you. So you, not a not a whole lot of options to choose from. I could have gone with Underworld. I could have gone with Unbreakable. That was a thought. Almost did that. I could have gone with The Untouchables. That was a great movie, but none. I wouldn't watch those a lot like this one. Underworld maybe that might have been a choice, but instead of that, I went with Universal Soldier. And I went with Universal Soldier so that I could have some Van Damme and some Dolph Lundgren, which I didn't have in my stack. See, this is where the strategy kind of comes in. Okay, I kind of want a Van Damme movie. Where can I get one that won't interfere? I want, I want a martial arts movie. Where can I get one that doesn't interfere? I want an MCU movie. Where can I get one? That's kind of how I played this. So Universal Soldier becomes my letter U. My letter V, kind of an obvious choice. Um, I could have gone with a few different choices. I thought about Valerian and um, the World of a Thousand Planets, or something like that, whatever it's called. Um, and it's okay. Um, I could there was an action movie called Villainous that I almost picked, but I put those all aside and I went with V for Vendetta. This is the 4K box set, but I went with V for Vendetta with Natalie Portman as my letter V pick. So I'm on a W. Got four more left. W was kind of easy. It was like, okay, I could have gone, you know, I thought about Whiplash, and I was like, no, I really like that movie, but I don't know if I would watch that again. So I went, okay, what would I watch a whole bunch of times? Wanted was a thought. I really thought about going with Wanted. But I put those away and I went with Weird Science as my W pick. Super funny, Kelly LeBrock, win-win. Weird Science becomes my W. So for X, I used my last cheat. Because really, for X, what are your choices? My choices were Triple X or X-Men, really. So I decided to go with X-Men, and I said, okay, how many X-Men movies? What's the most I could do here? I could have gone with like one of the singles movies, and that would have been fine. But instead, I went for the X-Men Beginnings trilogy, which gives me 3 movies. So you get First Class, Days of Future Past, and Apocalypse in one case. Totally down for this. X-Men Beginnings trilogy is my choice for the letter X. Now we come to Y. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't have very many movies for the letter Y. So I went, you know what? I'm looking at it, and I boiled down to just really like 2 or 3 choices. And none of them really stuck out. None of them were really, oh God, I gotta have that movie. Um, so I was like, you know what? I don't have a Western. So my choice for Y is the only Western in my stack, but a Western that I needed. And as such, my choice for Y is Young Guns. It's got a great cast. It's hilarious. You got, you know, I I love it. I would put this in my top 5 westerns all time. But again, played the strategy. If I was going to have a western, my first choice would be Tombstone, but I needed the T for Twister. Silverado would have been next, and that's an S, so no way I was going to get that in there. Young Guns worked out. So, Young Guns is my offering for the letter Y. For Z, no brainer. Didn't even waste any time with it. The letter Z, my letter Z choice is Zombieland because, yeah, it's awesome. Again, I wanted Shaun of the Dead, but it's an S, and that makes it a little harder to grab. So, Zombieland was the ideal choice. Okay, no idea what happened there, except my screensaver came on. Anyway, Zombieland, letter Z. So I am done. I hope you guys like my list. I would recap, but it would take me about the same amount of time. I want to see your guys' list. So, you guys do a list after you see this, tag me. Let me know what you did. And I would love to watch it. Throw a like on it. I want to see what you guys picked. Huck, love your list, brother. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for issuing this challenge. Ken, great list. Keep it up, brother. Hopefully, you guys get a chance to see mine. I will be back with some unboxings and some other stuff. Next week will be a couple more lives on Instagram and our Tuesday top 10. Next week at 6 p.m. Pacific time will be for found footage movies, so hopefully you guys can check that out. Until then, I am David Lowe with the 4K Lowdown signing off. Take care. Have a great weekend, everybody.